Hello everyone, welcome back to Spennymoor Town. It's episode number 13. I hope you're having a great week and enjoying Football Manager and, doing well. Just to give you an update as to where we are, we're 34 matches into the season now. And as you can see, we're kind of sitting we're doing okay. We're just below the playoffs, won 14, drawn 11, lost 9. And the draws, guys, have been what's really defined our season. We've drawn too many, and if you look at Ebbsfleet, for example, they've lost 4 more games than we have. If we get an extra 12 points, we're on 65 and we're in third place. So, insofar as the league goes, Halifax have done really well. FC Halifax and Leyton Orient, they're kind of really clear, and they're kind of fighting the league out between themselves. So our task now, as it always has been, is to get into the playoffs, because I think that's realistically where we were always going to end up. The draws have been the problem. So I want to give you an update, guys, as to our recent results. And as you can see from the last time we were here, we had that awful December, that run in December. Really didn't do well. Our lads don't like Christmas. But then we've been doing better since the Sutton game. Had a little bit of a run in the FA Trophy. It was just getting to the point where I would bring it into our featured games. And then we lost to Bradford Park Avenue. That was a really bad result, that game. If you look, they had a lot of bookings. It was a rough game. We had Ethan Robson score a goal, and they scored late, and we really went for it. We pushed and pushed, but they just had the better of the game. And for a team that's in 18th position in the league below us, that was a real disappointment, guys. That was a real blow. So I was expecting to do better. There was plenty of prize money up for grabs. We just didn't do it. We just failed. So the other results, we had a little bit of a spike. The last match against Boreham Wood, we had Ashley Naddison. Now I'm trying something new tactically, but before I show you that, I just need to show you the recent signings, if I can remember how to do it. We have had some outgoings. We've got Jonathan Flatt, who's our goalkeeper. We signed a lot of keepers, guys. We did sign a lot of keepers, and he's now moved on to Basingstoke for £600 a week, so that's not bad. Danny Ingwesson went, I think we said last time, he's gone, and he went to York, so he's getting £800 a week, so again, not bad for Danny. Rob Ramshaw was on the range transfer. I think you probably knew that it was in place, but now it's gone through. Wickham now, and he's not really playing much, but good luck to him. Nick Horton, now this is a player who, when he signed, I thought he was going to be our star man. Then he just slowly, with us signing better players, just didn't really get into the team. He said he wanted to leave. He was on about £400-500 a week, so I decided to let him go. He did okay for us, got a couple of goals, 19 appearances, but now he's playing for Altrincham. And lastly, another goalkeeper that came in, Max Crocombe. He came in with a great deal of promise, but we just had better goalkeepers available for us. So he played to start the season, came from Salford, and then he's gone to Blythe, and we wish him well. So obviously that means there was some gaps, as you can imagine. We have signed a goalkeeper or two. We've signed Magnus Norman. Apologies if I showed you this last time, guys, but he's come in. Good stats across the board. 23 is the right age. We're going to hopefully keep him as time moves on. A bit of upside for him as well. Kelvin Atu came in. To be honest, he hasn't done so well, guys. He'll probably be moving on at the end of the season. He is transfer listed. He's on not much money, so it's not the worst thing in the world to keep him, but George Ray hasn't really had many starts yet, but he has started to work his way into the team because of an injury, and we'll wait to see how he goes. A player that I expected to do better than he's done. Now this is the player that's really been quite interesting for us, Ashley Naddison. I presume that's how you say the name. He came in as a striker and just did nothing. He scored, I think, 4 goals in 8 games, but he was offside constantly and just really just didn't perform very well. He just seemed to be a gap. There was not much pace there. I mean, acceleration and pace is decent, just wasn't doing it. And when I was watching the match engine, looks like he should be the business at this level, just simply wasn't. So I'm looking for ways that I can get him into the team, and I'll come back to that in a second on the tactical changes. We signed Chris Renshaw, who is now our second choice goalkeeper. Bit disappointed with that because he was scouted as a 4-star, and I thought, wow, he's our new beast in goal. So I brought him in, sold the other 2, and then the coach just said, hang on, he's not actually as good as our starting keeper, Magnus Norman. So that was a bit irritating, but he's a backup, and he's not on a ton of money. So, and a very recent signing, just this month, is I presume that's Caelan Lavery. I don't know how you say the name. But this is a guy who I'm quite excited about. He played in the first game, didn't really do anything, but he wasn't really match fit. So I still believe. But he scored in League 2 last season, 14 goals in 39 games for a rating of 7. Now, when you're dropping down a division, that should be a good sign. And as you can see from our team in general, that's our last signing, is really it is at the front of the pitch that we're not doing so well. Players like Glenn Taylor, steady away. Players like Sean Chewton, again, steady, but they're not really hammering, moving forward. They're not really as good. So what I've tried to do now is I've put Naddison at the right wing, and he got an 8.8 in the last match, so I'm quite excited about that. He is wanted by a few clubs, so there is options for me if I want to get his wages off the books. He has got a 2-year contract. But I'm trying Lavery up front, who's rated a 4-star. Naddison's a 4-star, and I've got Harry Benz, who hasn't set the world on fire at 6.86 for the season, and recently hasn't done much, but he has played 33 games and he has scored 12 goals. Not enough assists though, because that's what I want more from him if he's going to stay. Due to the fact that George Smith is injured, I've got Ercolani, who's going to be going to the left. He is left-footed. He's not really a winger, but we'll persist with that. The rest of the team, so Naddison's a bit more of a winger, but I really want him to come in there. What I might do is put him as a winger support, and then ask him in the player instructions to not run wide with the ball. Might not be able to change that. Can I change that? Oh yeah, that's part of his actual thing. So we'll leave that as an inside forward just to make sure we get what we want from our forwards. He did do well with it last time, so I'm not really too worried. So today's game, guys, is going to be Chesterfield. We're going to hopefully get another win on the board. What we're looking to do now really is to consolidate our 8th position. And at the end of the season, there'll be one more video before the end of the season. We're going to be hopefully clearing out a few of the players who haven't made the grade. We've got players like Ethan Robson, George Smith, who are doing well. We've got players like Ercolani, who have signed for an additional year. We've got George Ray, who's worth a lot of money. God, would I love to sell him for that amount of money. And we're going to hopefully get Jamie Sterry on permanent when he leaves the club. Unfortunately for us, Sterry's on about £2,000 a week, and we can't afford that. At the moment we pay, I think it's not a great deal, £400 a week of that, but he gets a lot more than that from Newcastle. So we're going to go into it. Chesterfield are the favourites for this match. Tactically, I believe we're going for balanced formation. I think what I might do is I'd like us to start positively, because I do think that when the team's below you, you should go for them, and they won't expect that, especially with it at home. We have got a few players who are lacking in match sharpness, and again, midfield, we need to work on that, because I don't think that Sinnott, Mitch, Rose, any of these guys are quite good enough. We have got Oman Bike coming back from injury, but he's not quite ready yet, and obviously Ethan Robson's injured today, so that could be a problem for us. So what I like to do is send the players out, tell them I've all got faith in them, and I do have faith in them, because apart from not full faith, because I want them to do better. But here we go. Let's get straight into the match, guys. Enjoy the live commentary, and we'll see how we get on against Chesterfield. So Anderson passes it inside to Wakefield, crossfield ball to Williams, crossed it in, Shaw gets it, and it's a penalty. Unfortunately, George Ray brought down in 2 minutes, well 3 minutes into the game. That's a big blow. Anderson steps up, and he calmly places it straight down the middle. Norman guessed wrong, went far right post. Never a bad guess for a player coming in that way, but almost just dinks it in. That was a nice penalty. If he'd have stayed still, that would have been a save. So we drop down to 8th position, and I'm going to ask us to demand more, because we want more from them. So here we go. We have a corner, Rose, and it's played back out. Good cross in by Rose, and it's a great header, and it's Naddison. I've been battering him, and there he goes. Rose, who I was criticising, and Naddison, who I was criticising. So moving him to the right wing does seem to have had a good effect. Williams cleared it, but Rose took it really well, and then just left foot dinked it in. Naddison, with 3 men round him, scored, took the keeper, Lawler, a little bit by surprise there. So 1-1. Oh, that was an excellent cross. Really put us under pressure, right where you wanted as a forward. So second half then. told the lads to believe that we believe we can win this. I'm going to go to a more balanced formation. I'm just going to check that I want my passing directness to be slightly more direct. In transition, I want to regroup, and then out of possession, we're going to pull the defensive line back slightly, but we're just going to leave, well, and that should do it. So we'll go for those tactical changes. So free kick by Sinnott, right into the danger zone. Goalkeeper missed it, and Ercolani scored. What a goal. First ever goal. I was going to say, I don't think he scored many. So there we see Sinnott, right at the keeper comes out flapping, and Ercolani stayed alert, and he pops it in for 2-1 to Spennymoor after 52 minutes. So we've made a couple of changes. We've brought off Abdi Sharif, and we've put on Erman Bayek, and we brought off George Ray for Billy Sass Davis. So players who would normally probably be close to playing are now on after 70 minutes. Long ball looking for Benz. Barry breaks it down, passes it back into Maguire. Thankfully not Harry Maguire. At least we hope not anyway. Search and cross, it was a good one, but played into side netting. That was a good cross. So we'll put Chutin on for Lavery. Hasn't played great, just want to nurse him back into playing. 4 minutes of injury time. Sinnott to Addison. Cross it in, nobody in the box. Sterry with a throw. And that wasn't really a very good cross there. Sterry wants to get back in a position. Crossfield ball to Bray. And to Barry, and it's a good cross, and the goalkeeper was flapping a bit there, but it goes out for a goal kick. That could be their last chance. And that's it. Anderson would feel he could have won the game, but we managed to get through, and let's be honest guys, we didn't deserve it. Not many shots on target, but 2 of the 3 go in. Addison, Ercolani scoring, blocking out that penalty from Anderson early doors. And I think that was fairly justified, if I'm honest, because the penalty didn't seem like a lot was going on. So I'm just going to praise our men who did quite well. Very happy with your performance. Hand over to assistant, which I always like to do, and then continue. So our next match is against Tranmere, and as you can see, we've consolidated our 7th place in the division, and we're doing okay. So thank you for watching guys. Our schedule is now going to be where most of this month we're going to play. I imagine our next match might be the Gateshead game, a couple of games away from the end of the season, and so make sure you check back for that. Make sure you like the other content on this channel. By all means comment, I will have a read of it and reply if I can. And thank you for watching guys. Have a great week, have a great time on FM, and I'll see you guys on the next video on Football Manager blog. And as ever, thanks for watching.